Let's see if it is basically able to do without any rename eventually, because for some reason I used to try to create broadcast with very minimum title first and will eventually rename, even though yeah, most likely it's not gonna be a difference. Perhaps, I'm not sure because I didn't find any text yet, so most likely I will need to rename it. Still need to rename it, even though it's not really explicitly seen in the playlist. But yeah, most likely the recording date or maybe the location. I think I never tried to use the location unless it was trying to represent a footage, gaming footage that's basically somehow have the real location. Perhaps, I'm not sure. But yeah, I basically in the pretty much the state that I didn't have any recorded footage that I can create Animoji, so there is several remaining, but it's probably less than 5 minutes, so I decided to do this live stream, which I think I haven't been do for a while, maybe more than 3 months, because I decided to focus on processing and upload the footage that I already tried to record previously. And for some reason the OTG drive that I used to make it as the main temporary space for storing all of the footage that I haven't been processed and upload is already almost complete, except the portrait orientation one, which definitely not able to be edited using iMovie for some reason, even though I already tried to use the newest devices that I had. Because maybe the iMovie is not really, I don't know, maintained. Perhaps it's already deprecated if I'm not mistaken, because from the one of the newest Mac operating system it is no longer included, so I decided to use from a different on or older version of the operating system, even though yeah, it still basically works perfectly and it can utilize more resources than what I basically tried to use in the previously, which is I'm still using right now for creating this live stream, which is the very old mid MacBook Air, mid 2013 MacBook Air, which for some reason when I basically tried to copy the title and description from the previous Animoji live stream, it's somehow just not really supported to even watch YouTube videos. I'm not sure, maybe it's starting to deprecate, because although it's still pretty new compared to my older Mac computers, which is still running on Mountain Lion if I'm not mistaken, and the Google Chrome is already very deprecated in there, so yeah, the user interface or user experience is just weird. I don't know why they decided to deprecate on older version of Google Chrome. Maybe they just wanted to force user to upgrade, because yeah, for some reason older browser seems to be more vulnerable in terms of security. Perhaps, I'm not sure, because I only try to use that once in a while for downloading the music that I basically already tried to save on my Opera mini browser on the iPhone, just to yeah, to maybe save the music that I basically can listen directly in various kind of music platform, online music streaming platform, perhaps, instead of trying to download from the YouTube, convert it into MP3 first, which is most likely some of the videos that basically not really intentionally dedicated for music, which is basically a video clip. It's pretty annoying because there is many elements that basically not music included into the conversion. So yeah, I think I only have talked for around 5 minutes. I don't know how long that I basically can talk about this, but yeah, I think I will try to utilize the time that I had for create various kind of content, even though yeah, most likely it's still not enough to create something that really beneficial for many peoples perhaps. Even though yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to do the same thing over and over again just for historical purposes. Hopefully it will not get deleted because yeah, for some reason if you basically had an active account and then eventually you basically try to leave it, never had any, I don't know, activity again, they basically can remove all of your data automatically. Even though yeah, maybe if the platform like this, which is already so big, I don't think they will try to remove any kind of content if there is an inactive users, because for some reason it can be some artifacts, because there are so many artifacts in the big platform, which basically or most likely it is pretty much impossible to log it back in, perhaps into those accounts, including I do have some other account that I basically cannot log it back in, even though there is already content in there. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it will need some further verification in order to make me able to prove that I basically own those accounts previously. Because yeah, for some reason there are so many public figures that got hacked and they basically able to retrieve the account back, obviously because yeah, they're using the same email, perhaps at least that can indicate they really own the account. I don't know what else, but if they're really already gone from this world and they haven't tried to delete the account, the account will basically exist until the end of the world, perhaps, or maybe until the data center is just got destroyed. But I don't know how many data centers that basically have the same exact backup of our content that may not really necessary to be backup either, because yeah, it didn't have any views, it didn't have any things that basically benefit perhaps for people to watch it again. But well, for personal backup it's still pretty useful, because for some reason I really wanted to recover the hard drive that I think I have already tried to explain so many times in the past, and I still haven't tried to do that because for some reason I don't know the place that I used to come for trying to recover an SD card it still exists or not. But yeah, recovering the SD card is just much harder than the hard drive, even though it's made cheaper. But yeah, there is some sort of impossible things that the SD card will eventually lose the data forever, perhaps. Unlike the hard drive, which is basically still pretty much there, unless gone, perhaps. But anyway, I basically wanted to recover the smaller hard drivers that basically much older as well, if it is possible. Even though, yeah, it's definitely going to be much more expensive than any kind of hard drive that I basically able to bought new condition with much bigger storage. But yeah, the satisfaction that's able to be created from recovering the data that you haven't seen for a while, it's basically gonna be worthy, especially when the data is pretty big. Like, yeah, the main hard drive that I used to that I used to make it as my main personal hard drive on my old gaming PC. Even though, yeah, it's definitely much older than the one that I basically had right now, because yeah, at the time that the hard drive fallen into the ground, which made it physical bad sector, I basically tried to upgrade all of my components into a mini ITX as well. So previously I'm still using an ATX, not ITX form factors. That, yeah, it's definitely just regular computers, and with the very old processing power that I basically tried to bought it again, even though I used to sell it previously and it was not successfully sold because it eventually got refunded, because I never noticed that I don't know, put a processor near a hard drive can basically destroy it. Maybe because hard drive has a lot of magnets, and magnets are not really good for CPU. So yeah, that's the reason why the hard drive got destroyed. But the motherboard is fine, or maybe not fine as well. I'm not sure. I think it's fine, but yeah, the motherboard is just not as valuable as the processor during that time. And right now, or the last time that I basically tried to buy it again, it seems to be cheaper, or it is actually the same price that I basically tried to sell previously. But oh well, at least those computers still exist right now, those same exact resources and the same exact hard drive that I used previously before I basically tried to upgrade it into a much bigger storage, but eventually got broken, which is pretty sad. Because yeah, that's the reason why after that I never tried to bought those capacity again. So I prefer to bought smaller capacity, but yeah, there are multiple things, so that if I basically try to lose the data again, at least it only lost not as big as when it was basically combined into a single devices. Yeah, I don't know what else that I basically want to talk about. It's already 13 minutes, I think.